This is Popping the Bubble with hosts Sandra Ponce de Leon and Pete A. Turner.
Hi, this is John Coulson, founder of Seti, SIDOG Entertainment Technologies Interactive, and you're live with Sandra, Pete, and I on Popping the Bubble.
That was awesome.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, John, thanks so much for joining us. It's really great to have you. We met actually at a show down in Los Angeles earlier this year, and your technology is really, really fascinating. SIDOG, which I know it stands for something, but why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what SIDOG is about?
SIDOG, social interaction during online gaming. The idea was conceived while racing an IndyCar simulator in the basement of the Harrah's Hotel in 1999 in Las Vegas. It wasn't until recently that technology has caught up with my vision, and we've been moving it forward. SIDOG stands for Social Interaction During Online Gaming, and it's what we call where sims meet reality on the Internet of Things. And what that means is that today there seems to be considerable video games that are dominating the online gaming market. What we are trying to do is interact the static user, the home gamer, into live action real-time events such as sporting events and music events. A quick example of that, what we're doing right now at mlbbullpen.com, which is an extension of SIDOGger.com, is preparing a game for presentation to Major League Baseball, whereby instead of just passively watching a live action baseball broadcast, we will be interjecting home gamers directly into the bullpen during the live event, where they'll be able to take pitching from real live baseball pitchers.
Wow. So they actually are able to insert themselves into the baseball game and swing for the pitches.
Pretty close, yes. What's happening in the online gaming world, there's several emerging video games coming out related to baseball. They're all very graphic intensive, and none of them really have much to do with live on-field play, because that would require a lot of doctoring of the baseballs with technologies and stuff that probably wouldn't get passed by their rules committee. So we thought, well, how can we get people involved in a live game? And if you look at the bullpen during a live broadcast, what you'll notice is it's becoming more like a carnival environment where a lot of fans are hanging around and chatting and getting autographs and such from the pitchers who are warming up before they come into the game. So what we'll be able to do, for instance, is you'll be able to take a Wii-type baseball bat and wear your VR immersion headset and find yourself literally taking 90-mile-an-hour pitches from professional baseball players live and in the moment.
Cool.
And I think it's key to note that the whole premise of SIDOG is there's no cheat codes, there's no reset buttons. It all happens in real time. And going with that, it's that human anticipation of what's going to happen next that we believe should be one of the hooks to this system.
So if you are able to take 90-mile-an-hour fastballs and there's no cheat codes, what happens when people start just striking out and they don't hit the ball?
That's true.
Well,
that is a problem.
It is a training tool, so you'll be competing online against other players, and we're going to hopefully set up like little leagues that'll encourage Little League baseball players. The computer will calculate your swing and determine whether you hit a home run or whether you struck out or whether you fouled out. And obviously, the better you get, the better your timing is. We're hoping that this will translate into real life. Our main goal here is for kids and entertaining and teaching life skill. What I currently see in the simulated environment of the internet is these kids get trapped into a game, and just when they're almost ready to win the game, the manufacturer puts out another 65 levels and traps them into a game for seemingly decades on end. Mm-hmm. What we want to do is inspire children by interjecting them into these immersive gaming environments that are happening in real time, so that they will soon want to get out of that chair, go outside and experience that game for themselves. And what we have there is it's a turnover, so to speak. They go from being a passive viewer to what we call a interactive online content provider for the system.
Very cool. So it's basically like a gateway to get them into physical activity. And I also love the fact that really, if they're training with these top-notch players, I mean, that's going to up their game significantly. And yeah, I mean, it just seems really, really cool from what you said, a training perspective.
I agree with you. Also, for the fans, TV is broken up into too many commercials these days, and you tend to lose focus on the game you're playing. So this will be a way for the fans to sort of stay in tune during those long commercial breaks. One of the other apps that I've been pushing for a while is what we call Instant Idol, and this also is for the music industry. So envision, say, Eric Clapton playing live in Las Vegas this very moment. With the Instant Idol app for SIDOG, you will be able to take your guitar, your microphone, your keyboard, and plug it directly into your computer. Go to our website, drop down a menu, and find any number of concerts that are happening live in the moment. Most of these concerts these days are very choreographed, so you'll be able to get a pretty good timing as to when your favorite song is coming on next. So now you're all set and ready to go. You're in your VR system. We've got the stage environment at the live gig all wired up, and Eric starts to play. Eric Clapton's playing along. Everything he's playing is digitized. Everything that all the other gamers online at the moment are playing is also digitized and compared. So let's say you're really kicking it above everyone else online, and the computer rates you as being quite comparable with the band that's playing at the moment. At this moment, you become what we consider instant idol for that song. And going along with being instant idol is the next trick part that we're proposing to do. The sound engineer at the live event then has the ability to bring your remote playing in and mix it into the band's live feed so that the audience in Las Vegas will hear you as if you were part of the actual band playing in real time. Theoretically, you're playing online against other gamers in the Instant Idol music game, and you're also playing along live with Eric Clapton, for instance, and that's happening in Las Vegas.
Okay, so someone becomes an instant idol because they've got enough proficiency at playing the instrument that they can play along with Eric Clapton's band. Why does Eric Clapton want to let somebody he doesn't know and can't control into his concert? I mean, that's what I want to know as a concert goer. Why am I paying $150 a ticket to hear some guy in his basement? I understand the value of that for the guitar player, but what's the value for the audience member? What's the value for Eric Clapton and his band?
Well, the value for Eric Clapton and the band basically is, let's say we have 500,000 kids playing online and they're all paying $5 a piece to be involved in that particular concert. The band itself will take a good percentage of the online gate. A nice percentage of the online gate will be allocated to the online players. So if you're an Instant Idol winner, you might walk away with a nice cash prize. Part of the online gate will be allocated as a prize package to those participating in the game. In this way, you also can be scouted. It's an interesting and new way of scouting talent, so it'll be good for talent scouting as well. There's a lot of bands, a lot of musicians that will probably not like this. There are a lot of musicians out there that I've researched who are rather philanthropic. They really like to help young people, bring people in and nurture them through their music careers as well. So there's a lot of different angles, and it's all going to have to be negotiated on a contract basis with each different band.
Yeah, so not necessarily for every band, it's not going to be right, but for some bands that want to have a deeper engagement with their audience and want to encourage the musicians and their audiences to learn and grow, it's a great opportunity, and it'd be so exciting, I'm sure, for some super fan to be on stage with Eric Clapton. That'd be crazy. Is there a latency issue involved? Because, that's the one thing that I think about is how do you get that to be, paired up correctly?
That's a very good question. A lot of people ask that. So we tackled it from two ways. The first, latency, probably for the first year or two until the technology really does catch up and becomes instant real time. What will happen as you're playing along live, you will be recorded. And if the computer says that you are instant idle for that particular song, then you will be recorded. And during the next day, shall we say, the sound engineers will have the ability to go over your playing and literally almost like a lip sync performance will be able to mix you into a song during the next night's performance. And in this way, they can control you. So we're anticipating that most users who get involved aren't going to be up there throwing F-bombs and being idiots and stuff like this. This will be like a big chance for them. And hopefully through the culture, it'll be recognized that this is your big chance. Don't blow it. Don't be an idiot, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting about your technology is that you've really opened up the platform to other developers. So tell us a little bit about that part of the technology and the initiative that you're driving there.
Well, we have a very unique business model, and what I've come up with, and it's starting to get a lot of play with people in the industry, is we see SIDOG as not a one-trick pony, but many verticals can be spun off, and way too many that we could possibly ever develop on our own. So we are inviting the dev community to come in. They will take a free license from Seti, and with that free license, we extend what we call our patent umbrella over them. Patent covers a wide space going forward in live action, real-time immersive gaming. So they'll be able to develop and license their own game and control their own game. We're going to offer them a free upfront license. We don't want to encumber them with all of the trappings that I had to go through. For instance, I had to wait almost 5 years for this patent to be developed. Very few people in the industry would talk to us during that time, come back when you have a patent. So we decided to try it a little different and build a team and build some interest before we actually decided to start building software and making this happen. So once they've licensed it, they can go off, they can do their own thing, they can control their own thing, and then they'll work within what we call the SIDOG gaming network, development network, whereby we won't license to directly competitive apps and games, but all games and apps will be based on the protocols of the SIDOG technology. So you will be encouraged to share resources within that environment so that we can all get to market a lot quicker and at greatly reduced expense for persons like myself. For the 5 years that I have held this together and been slowly developing it, I sort of use an analogy that if you were to open up a shop in downtown Los Angeles and open the doors and the public would come in and you had absolutely nothing on the shelf, you'd have to tell people, hi, yes, we're in business, but come back in 5 years and we'll have something to sell you. So how do you keep that momentum going? How do you keep that dream alive? Mm-hmm. And it's not been easy. And there's been a lot of times where, I feel like quitting. I come up with a lot of quirky sayings. One of them is just turn no around and get on it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you again about the gaming type situation because I'm fascinated by the opportunity for the artist to have someone come in and engage the band and create revenue for the band, create potentially revenue for the instant idol type person or the baseball player or whatever it's going to be, the person that's engaged in this. What other kind of games do you see out there? Like what are the other possibilities where someone can virtually be part of something that they love?
Well, I have come up with a list. Funny you should ask. Mm-hmm. I've come up with a list of potential apps that we want to do. One of the favorite ones, if you like horse racing, and this has a lot to do with sportsbook, which is another way of deriving revenue through the system. So Kentucky Derby's on, you pick your horse, you watch your race, you win or you don't win. With the SIDOG application, you'll now be able to ride your horse in the live race. So we'll have the track, the jockeys, the horses all done up with micro technology, preferably stuff that doesn't impede actual play, live play for them. So you'll be able to bet on your horse and then put on your VR headset and beat the jockey and ride that horse right through the race.
That's crazy.
That's one application.
Now you can be a jockey but still eat mashed potatoes.
There you go. You can be the 9-foot tall jockey.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, also, one of the interesting applications that I actually saw being presented at the show that we met at, I'd love for you, because it's actually a nice segue into our next conversation with TJ Wright, with Thomas Wright, but you guys have actually both won in the competition, the startup competition. So maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
The AI Showbiz event with Molly Lavick, bless her, what a hardworking woman. I was very impressed. I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of guy running nightclubs and stuff, as I said, for years, so I know to choreograph all of that. So they put together a really good platform for us. I was invited originally by TJ Wright. He's a former NFL player, and I believe your next guest.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought it was a bit of a joke. I don't win anything. Nobody wants me to come to LA. What's the scam here? So when I did get down there, I was very much impressed. Mia More is, I don't want to get too much into that because I'll be taking away from TJ in a few minutes here. But Mia More is the online dating app that is based on playing SIDOG games and apps. So it's a new interactive way of meeting someone and going out and having some fun.
I think that's fascinating, and we will get into it with TJ.
Will you say Molly's full name again?
Molly Lavick, Lavik.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's great. Is this mixed reality? What do you exactly call this again? I'm sorry. Because it's not really, it's not VR. It's like, you're actually using a number of different technologies together. And then also, from a user perspective, what does a consumer need to have to actually be able to engage with these kinds of games and platforms?
Going back to what I was saying earlier about technology catching up, we did a Kickstarter campaign about a year and a half ago. Not very successful, but we sure learned a lot from that. But during that, I sourced out many other campaigns, and I have chronicled, I don't know, 30 or 40, at least 30 or 40 different emerging technologies that are reasonably priced, that are compatible with our games and apps. So we feel that all the technology is in place. We're just really mating things together in a very different way than what's been done. As I said, it'll be artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, combination of MEMS, which are micro electromechanical systems, miniature gyroscopes.
Wow.
All of these different technologies. So that's where we came up with the short-term acronym of VAERS for Virtually Augmented Intelligent Reality Systems, until somebody can come up with something bigger.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, Pete, from you?
No, my brain is running 1,000 miles an hour thinking of all the things you could do, like the ability to learn to become a vascular surgeon.
Yeah.
Like
oh my gosh.
in there, and your residency, you have an unlimited access to these surgeries now. It's just two people observing or whatever. So there's a lot of good out there that can come from something like this.
It's great that you mentioned that, because it shows that we're thinking along the same lines. One of our potentials is, it's right here in front of me, remote surgical assistance. And just a little blurb I wrote up. Students in remote locations participate in real-time surgical procedures as they try and keep up with the stress of the live operation. They might not kill the patient if their procedure goes bad, but they will learn quickly what they did wrong to make it all go wrong. This app makes use of holographs, plays out much like the traditional surgical game we all played as kids called Operation.
Yeah. This is fascinating.
So cool. I think we could even talk with you longer, and maybe we should have thought of that before.
To do a part two. But so if we can learn how to do vascular surgery and play guitar like Eric Clapton, I suppose that you could help us with love. So I guess we should go and talk to TJ about how to fall in love better.
How to fall in love, yeah.
And then let's have you back on again, and let's talk some more about where we're going, because I can barely handle all the things that I have to think about.
Right?
You know?
I know. Yeah, John, this has been such a great conversation and love what you're doing, and definitely want to follow up with you again. So I think there'll be lots of interest from our audience in finding out more about you. So where can people find out about you or learn more about SIDOG?
Well, they can start out at the website, www.sidogger.com. That's S as in Sam, IDOGGER. And from there, there's contact information. We're on Facebook. I believe it's Seti on Facebook. Seti stands for SIDOG Entertainment Technologies Interactive, not to be confused with the extraterrestrial efforts of the boys at NASA.
We can do that virtually too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, John. We'll be sure to point back to you. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been absolutely incredible. I can't wait to return to LA. It was a life-changing experience for me. I've met so many great people and so many people willing to help, like yourselves, for sure.
Yeah, I got to make it to San Francisco too.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.